A holiday travel weekend that was already going to be miserable just got upgraded to good luck, you're not making it home on time now. Welcome to Why It's Trending Daily. I'm Hank, and this is where I break down the stories that everyone is suddenly Googling and I explain to you why they matter. Because right now, millions of Americans are typing the exact same thing into Google. Is my flight screwed? Here is what's happening. A cross-country storm lined up perfectly with the one weekend where every airline tries to stuff record number of people into a system that can barely handle a random Tuesday in March. You got heavy snow hitting the Midwest, lake effect blizzards around the Great Lakes, rain hammering the East Coast, and winds strong enough to knock those inflatable yard turkeys into the next county. And into that mess, the airline said, yeah, let's schedule the busiest flying day in history. What could possibly go wrong there? Now, Chicago is basically ground zero in this thing. They're staring down 8 to 12 inches of snow, gusty winds, whiteout conditions, the whole horror package. And that matters way beyond Chicago because O'Hare is like the circulatory system of domestic air travel. When the airport sneezes, half the country gets a delay text. So even if you're sitting in Atlanta or Dallas or Phoenix thinking, well, it's sunny here, well, congratulations, your plane might still be stuck on a snowy runway in Illinois. Then you've got the Great Lakes in upstate New York doing their usual hold my beer performance in all of this. Lake effect snow warnings, 6 to 20 inches, gusts of up to 50 miles an hour, and roads that basically say, you sure you want to try this? No. So some of you are about to discover what zero visibility actually looks like, and it's not just your dating prospects. And because this is America, instead of saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't drive through this blizzard or something, people are white-knuckling minivans going through whiteout conditions because Aunt Linda made green bean casserole that they just have to get in the refrigerator before it spoils. Meanwhile, the airlines and the government are acting like they've got it all under control. AAA says over 80 million people are traveling. The airlines brag they'll fly a record 31 million passengers. TSA is flexing that they're ready to screen more than 3 million travelers on Sunday alone, and I'm sure they're very proud, but none of those numbers matter if Chicago, Detroit, or Minneapolis hits a standstill and your jet is frozen to the runway. Here's the brutal truth here, gang. Our entire travel infrastructure is built on the assumption that nothing will go wrong, which is insane because it always goes wrong. We know there will be a winter storm somewhere. We know Thanksgiving weekend never runs smoothly. And yet every single year we pack the flights to 100%, understaff the crews, understaff the ground teams, and then act surprised when a single storm turns the entire country into an airport sleepover. And this year has an extra spice packet added in, the ripple from the government shutdown and staffing issues. Even if the agencies insist they're back to normal, there's still less slack available in the system, and less slack means fewer backup crews, fewer spare planes, and less margin for error when a big storm reroutes and cancels other flights. So when you see those headlines about record numbers of passengers and historic travel volumes, understand what that really means. Record numbers of people who can get stranded all at once. And let's talk about the drivers, because they're not getting off easy either. The same system dropping snow on Chicago is running a line of junk from the plains all the way into the Midwest with 6 to 12 inches possible in big chunks of Nebraska, Iowa, Illinois, and up through Michigan. That means interstates turning into skating rinks, semis jackknifed across lanes, and that one guy in the F-150 who thinks four-wheel makes him invincible and then becomes a traffic cone. So if you're planning to beat the crowd by driving overnight in this, you're not clever, you're volunteering yourself as tribute. Now on Sunday, the worst of the snow shifts east, but the rain turns the I-95 corridor into its own special kind of misery. The good news, it'll be too warm for a full-blown snowpocalypse in cities like Philly, New York, and DC. Bad news is you still get slick roads, hydroplaning, and every Uber driver on earth deciding to play Frogger in the rain. And because Sunday is projected to be the single busiest air travel day of the entire stretch, all that rain means more spacing between planes, more delays, and more time for you to contemplate your life choices in a plastic airport chair. Not ideal. So here's where this actually matters for you beyond my flight might be delayed. First, money. If your flight gets canceled, airlines will happily rebook you, but good luck at getting a hotel, food vouchers, or anything close to compensation that actually covers the cost of being stranded. A lot of people planned quick trips back so they could work Monday, and if they get stuck, well, that's lost wages, missed shifts, and kids missing school. Travel chaos isn't just annoying, frankly, it hits your wallet and hard. And second, this is one of those weekends where you can see exactly how fragile everything really is. We like to pretend we live in a hyper-efficient, just-in-time, at-powered society, But one decent snowstorm and a holiday, and suddenly we're back to sleeping on the floor under our coats while the departure board blinks delayed like it's mocking us. I've been there. It's a reminder that the margin between normal life and total chaos is thinner than anyone wants to truly admit. And third, it exposes how little power individual people actually have in these situations. You can show up early, you can check the weather, you can do everything right, and still get stranded because some executive somewhere decided to overschedule planes and underinvest in resilience. Then they'll send a chirpy email about "we appreciate your patience during these unprecedented events, blah, blah, blah," as if snow in late November is some kind of freak accident. Newsflash, it's not. So what do you actually do with all this? Well, if you haven't left yet and you have any flexibility, move your travel away from the worst windows. That means, yes, maybe leaving earlier than you want, or staying an extra day with your family, even if your Uncle Jeff is still ranting about the Fed and Bitcoin. If you're flying, aim for the earliest flight of the day. Delays stack on top of each other, and if you want to be at the front of the domino line, not the last. If you're driving through the Midwest, ask yourself a simple question. Do I really want my big Thanksgiving memory to be sliding sideways on I-94? And if you're already stuck at an airport watching this on your phone, you're basically living inside the story itself. You are the content, so look around at the sea of rolling suitcases, neck pillows, and dead eyes, and understand, this is what happens when you combine record demand, brittle infrastructure, and one big storm. It is not a fluke, it's the logical outcome of how we built this very system. The craziest part, we'll do it again at Christmas, no doubt. Same airports, same planes, probably the same storm track, and absolutely no lessons learned. Because as long as flights eventually take off and the profits look fine, the people at the top don't really care how many of you had to sleep on the floor to make it actually happen. So yeah, enjoy your Black Friday deals, maybe pick up a better travel pillow while you're at it. You might be getting a lot more use out of it than you planned this holiday season. And yes, the chaos isn't stopping anytime soon.